Mama Deborah's hands were shaking, not the small kind of shaking that comes from cold. This one came from fear, and excitement, and confusion mixed together. She stood in front of a large gate, tall, black and shiny like a mirror. A ribbon was tied across it, bright and wide, like something you would see on TV when people are opening a new mall. But she couldn't see any of it, because a blindfold covered her eyes. "Small, small, Mama," a young man said softly, guiding her forward. Another young man held her other hand, careful and gentle, like she was made of glass. They sounded the same. Exactly the same. Their voices had that same smooth calm. Even the way they breathed sounded alike. People around them were whispering. Some were gasping, some were laughing in disbelief. Mama Deborah heard the sound of a phone camera clicking. She heard somebody say, "Now them be those twinso." Another voice said, "You mean Jerry and Jeremy? That small boys, way they trek. Go school barefoot?" Mama Deborah's throat tightened. Jerry and Jeremy. She knew those names better than her own cooking pot. Even now, with the blindfold on her eyes, she knew it was them holding her hands. She would know their touch anywhere. She would know the way they always stood, one slightly to the left, the other slightly to the right, like two guards protecting their queen. But her mind still refused to believe it, because the last time she truly held them like this, they were small. So small. Just two boys with dirty cheeks and torn shirts, two identical faces with hungry eyes that kept apologizing even when they did nothing wrong. And now the same boys were grown men in expensive corporate clothes, trimmed beards, shoulders broad, perfume clean and soft. They were leading her somewhere. Somewhere big. Somewhere that sounded rich. "Mama," Jerry said, and his voice cracked a little, "please, don't be angry with us." "Angry?" Mama Deborah repeated, confused. "Why would I be angry? You people said you want to surprise me. Is it a birthday? But you know I don't celebrate birthday." Jeremy laughed quietly. "It's not birthday." Then he added slower, like he wanted every word to land inside her heart. "It's thank you." Mama Deborah swallowed hard. Thank you. That word made her chest ache, because she didn't remember doing anything big. She only remembered doing what she could. And sometimes what she could almost killed her. Jerry squeezed her hand. "Okay, stand here." The twins stopped walking. The crowd stopped breathing. Even the air felt like it paused. "Mama Deborah," Jeremy said, "we're about to remove the blindfold. But before we do, promise us something." Mama Deborah's lips were dry. "What promise?" "Promise you won't faint," Jerry said quickly. Some people laughed. Mama Deborah tried to laugh too, but it came out like a small broken sound. "Faint? For what? You people will not come and use heart attack to finish me." Jerry and Jeremy exchanged a look she couldn't see. But she felt it. That silent twin look. The one they used to do as boys when they were planning something, like sneaking extra bread from church after service. "Ready?" Jerry asked. Mama Deborah nodded. The cloth moved. Light rushed into her eyes. For a second, everything was blur. Then her eyes adjusted, and Mama Deborah's world changed. A mansion stood in front of her, not a small bungalow, not a face me, I face you, a real mansion. White paint, clean lines, wide balcony, tall glass windows that reflected the afternoon sun. The compound was spacious. The interlocking tiles looked new. Even the flowers by the gate looked arranged by somebody who knew what beauty meant. And beside the mansion, an expensive black SUV, big, shiny, fresh. Balloons and ribbons were tied to it like a wedding gift. Mama Deborah stared, her mouth opened, but no sound came out. She looked left, she looked right. She looked behind her as if the real mansion might be hiding somewhere else, and this one was a mistake. Then she looked at Jerry and Jeremy. They were smiling. Not proud smiling, not see what we did smiling. It was the kind of smile that begged for acceptance, like two boys again. "Mama," Jeremy whispered, "it's yours." Mama Deborah blinked, once, twice. Then her eyes filled with tears so fast that she didn't even understand how it happened. "No," she said, shaking her head. "No, this is not mine. This kind of thing is not for me." Jerry stepped forward. "It is." Mama Deborah pointed with a trembling finger. "This is a mansion." "Yes," Jerry said. "And that is a car," she added, voice rising. "Yes," Jeremy replied. Mama Deborah's knees weakened. She grabbed Jerry's arm. "Where is the owner? You people should stop playing. Where is the owner of this house? Are you bringing me here to clean?" The crowd laughed again, but some people quickly covered their mouths because her face was too serious. Jeremy held her shoulders. "Mama, look at us, please." She looked. Jerry pulled something out, a car key, a big key fob with a shiny logo. He placed it gently in her palm like it was a sacred thing. "Mama Deborah," he said, and now his voice was shaking too. "This is your car key." Mama Deborah stared at the key in her hand like it was a snake. Then she looked up at the mansion again, then back at the key, then at the twins. Her lips started trembling. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Before she knew it, a sound escaped her, raw, loud, uncontrollable. It was not even crying. It was the kind of cry that comes from years of hunger and stress and prayer. She covered her mouth with both hands. "Oh God," she whispered behind her fingers. "Oh God. Oh God. Is this how you people want to kill me?" Jerry hugged her. Quickly, Jeremy hugged her too. And for that moment, the whole compound became quiet except for Mama Deborah's crying. Some women in the crowd wiped their eyes. One man cleared his throat hard, like he was trying not to cry. Then Mama Deborah heard a voice from behind the crowd. A voice she had not heard in many years. A voice that once turned her life into fire. "Lie! This is a lie!" Mama Deborah froze. Jerry and Jeremy stiffened. The crowd parted slowly as a woman pushed through like she owned the ground. Madame Anita, the wicked aunt. Older now, but still sharp like broken bottle. She walked forward, eyes blazing, and the first thing she did was point at the twins like they were criminals. "You," she screamed, "you think you can come back and rewrite history? You think you can disgrace me in front of everybody? This house, this car, it cannot be theirs. They are thieves. They are—" Jerry stepped forward, voice low and dangerous. "Auntie Anita." Jeremy's jaw tightened. "Don't call our names like you own them." Anita laughed. It was not a happy laugh, it was bitter. "Own you," she snapped. "I should have finished both of you that time. I should have—" Mama Deborah's heart pounded. The crowd started murmuring again, confused. "Who be that woman?" "Na their auntie be that." "Ah, na she chased them comet that year." Anita pointed at Mama Deborah next. "And you," she shouted, "you, Deborah, you want to pretend you are a saint. You want to collect house because you carried two strangers. You think heaven is like market?" Mama Deborah's hands shook. Her tears dried immediately, replaced by fear and anger. But before she could speak, Anita raised her voice again. "I have proof," she yelled. "I have documents. This land, this property, everything belongs to their father's family, and I am the rightful person." A police van suddenly slowed near the gate. People turned. Two uniformed officers stepped down, and Mama Deborah felt her stomach drop, because Anita's smile became wicked, the kind of smile that said, "I didn't come alone." Jerry looked at the officers, then at Anita. Jeremy held Mama Deborah closer, protecting her, and Anita said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Arrest them if they try anything. Today the truth will scatter this nonsense." Mama Deborah's breath caught in her throat. The mansion, the car, the crowd, the crying. All of it suddenly felt like a dream that was about to be slapped awake. Jerry's fist tightened, Jeremy's eyes burned, and Mama Deborah stood between them, feeling like her life was about to repeat itself. Pain, shame, and helplessness. Then Jerry leaned close to her ear and whispered, with a calm that scared her, "Mama, this woman is not here for forgiveness. She is here to destroy us again." Mama Deborah's heart thudded, because she remembered. She remembered the night she first saw Jerry and Jeremy. She remembered the rain, the hunger, the wickedness, and the day Anita chased two small boys out like they were dogs. And Mama Deborah knew something deep and terrible. This surprise was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a war. And the worst part? Anita had arrived with police, meaning somebody, somewhere, had already signed something. And if that paper was real, then even this mansion could be taken away. Mama Deborah looked at the twins. They looked back at her, and the fear in their eyes was not fear of poverty. It was fear of losing her again. The officers began walking toward them. The crowd stepped back. Anita crossed her arms, satisfied, and Mama Deborah's mind flashed backward to 15 years ago, back to the night the twins first ran into her life like two frightened shadows, back to the moment she had to choose, save two boys, or save herself. She opened her mouth to speak, but the first officer reached them and asked sharply, "Which one of you is Jerry?" Jerry lifted his chin. "I am." The officer looked at him with a hard face. "You need to come with us." Mama Deborah's world tilted. Jeremy stepped forward, and Anita smiled wider, because it looked like the past was about to swallow them again, and this time the whole community was watching. Jerry did not move, not because he was stubborn, but because something inside him had gone very still, like a door locking. He looked at the police officer again, calm but firm. "Officer, on what ground?" The officer held up a folded document. "We have a report. Allegation of property fraud, identity issues, and land dispute. You need to answer questions." The crowd murmured louder now. Some people stepped closer to see the paper. Others stepped back like trouble could jump from person to person. Mama Deborah's palm was still gripping the car key. The key felt heavy suddenly, like it could pull her down. Jeremy's voice was controlled, but his eyes were hot. "Officer, this house belongs to our mother." Anita clapped once, slow and mocking. "Or see them." "Our mother? When did she become your mother? When she was taking pity on you? Or when you became millionaires?" Mama Deborah turned sharply. "Anita, you will not stand there and talk like that." Anita's smile didn't leave. "Deborah, shut up. This is family matter." "Family?" Mama Deborah's voice broke. "You chased them out when they were children. You sold their father's property. You made them sleep at the bus park. Now you say family?" Anita's face hardened for a second. Then she recovered quickly. She pointed at the mansion. "This land is not theirs. That's the truth. The truth you people don't like." Jerry exhaled. Slowly, then he did something that surprised everyone. He smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the kind of smile people wear when they've already fought this battle in their head, and decided they will not lose. "Officer," Jerry said politely, "we will come with you, but you will also come back here, with your senior officer, and with your boss, because today the whole world will hear the full story." The officer hesitated. He looked at Anita like he wanted to confirm if he should still push. Anita lifted her chin. "Yes, take them. Let them go and explain. Thieves always explain." Jeremy stepped closer to Jerry, shoulder touching shoulder like two pillars. "Don't worry, Mama," Jeremy told Mama Deborah softly. "No matter what happens, don't panic." Mama Deborah's eyes were watery again, but this time it wasn't joy. It was fear. "Jeremy, Jerry, please," she whispered. "This thing, I don't understand it. I don't want trouble." Jerry turned to her and held her face gently with both hands, like she was a child who had been crying. "Mama," he said low and steady, "remember how you used to tell us that truth is like morning sun, that even if you hide, it will still rise." Mama Deborah nodded slowly. Jerry's voice got even softer. "Let it rise today." Then the officer motioned. Jerry stepped toward the police van. Jeremy followed. And just like that, right in front of the mansion gate, with balloons still dancing on the SUV and the ribbon still bright on the wall, two grown men were being led away like criminals. Mama Deborah's knees almost gave out. The crowd erupted in whispers. "Heh! So the gift no be real. Maybe them they do Yahoo. No, those boys were good children. Anita no get conscience." Anita turned to the crowd with fake tears already ready in her eyes. "My people, I warned you. I warned Deborah too. She is always doing too much. She likes carrying strangers like Christmas goat. Now see disgrace." Mama Deborah's head spun. She wanted to run after the van. But Jeremy had squeezed her hand before, leaving, and whispered, "Stay." So she stayed. Yet her chest felt like it would burst. The police van drove out of the compound. Dust rose behind it. And the mansion, the SUV, the crowd, the ribbon. Everything stood there like a paused movie. Then somebody spoke from inside the crowd. A deep voice. "Madam Deborah." Mama Deborah turned. It was Mr. Chukwudi, the community chairman, an elderly man with a big belly and a brown cap. He had known Mama Deborah for years, seen her struggle, seen her cry, seen her refuse gifts, because she hated owing anyone. He stepped forward slowly. "Madam Deborah," he said again, "please come and sit down small." Mama Deborah shook her head. "Chairman, I can't sit. My children, my children—" "They are not children again," Mr. Chukwudi said gently. "But yes, they are your children. We all know." Mama Deborah swallowed. "Then why are they being taken like thieves?" Mr. Chukwudi sighed. "Because Anita has poison in her heart, and she has people." The words "she has people" made Mama Deborah's skin crawl. In Nigeria, those words meant more than money. It meant connections. It meant power. It meant somebody could twist truth until it looked like a lie. Anita folded her arms again and smirked, watching Mama Deborah shake. "Mama Deborah," Anita called out sweetly, "don't worry. Maybe when they finish asking questions, they will return your key. If the key is not fake." Mama Deborah turned sharply, her voice shaking. "Anita, what do you want?" Anita's eyes flashed. "What I want? My brother's legacy. That is what I want." Mama Deborah took one step forward. "Legacy you sold?" Anita's expression tightened. For a second, her face showed something ugly, like shame trying to enter, but being blocked by pride. Then Anita hissed, "Deborah, you think you know everything. You don't know anything." Mama Deborah froze. "What do you mean?" Anita smiled again, slow and wicked. "The truth," she said, leaning closer, "is that those boys are not even who you think they are." Mama Deborah's heart stopped. Not fully, but enough to scare her. "What did you say?" she whispered. Anita's voice dropped so only nearby people could hear. "I said," Anita repeated, "you don't know the full story of their father's death. You don't know the paper their father signed. You don't know the vow he made. And you don't know what the twins truly inherited." Mama Deborah's mouth went dry, because a part of her remembered something now, a memory that had always sat at the back of her mind like a stone. The night she found the boys, there had been something else, a brown envelope, old, wet from rain, stuffed inside Jerry's shirt like he was protecting it with his life. At the time, Mama Deborah had been too scared, too tired, too focused on feeding them to ask questions. She had told herself, "They are children. I will not stress them." But now, 15 years later, that same fear returned. "What did their father sign?" Mama Deborah asked, barely able to breathe. Anita's smile widened. "Ask them when they come back. If they come back." Then Anita turned and walked away, pushing through the crowd like a queen leaving a courtroom. And Mama Deborah stood there, shaking. The crowd began to slowly disperse, but not fully. People in the community loved drama. They loved to say, "Now today we go know the full story." Some women whispered, "Maybe Anita Day jealous. Maybe those boys truly rich. Maybe they did something bad in America." Then someone else said something that pierced Mama Deborah's heart. "Maybe Mama Deborah go lose everything again." Again, that word stung, because she had once lost everything already. Not money, not house, but hope. Long ago, after her husband died and she became a widow, she had watched the world turn its back on her. She had struggled so hard her hands cracked. She had carried water on her head until her neck ached for days. And when she finally started finding small peace, 2 boys had entered her life, and she had poured what little she had into them, like water into a dry plant. Now, just when her joy was rising, somebody wanted to crush it. Mama Deborah forced herself to move. She walked back into the compound slowly, not sure if she had the right to. The mansion stood quiet, beautiful, big, too clean. She touched the wall gently. It was real. Not paint on cardboard, real stone, real work, real sacrifice. Her throat tightened again. She walked to the SUV, placed her hand on the bonnet, and felt the smooth coolness. "God," she whispered, "please don't let this be another disgrace." Then she remembered something else, a small detail that felt like a rope in her hand. Before they removed her blindfold, Jerry and Jeremy had made her promise not to faint. Not promise you won't cry, not promise you'll be happy. They said, promise you won't faint, almost as if they expected something heavy, something shocking, something that could knock her off her feet. Mama Deborah looked around the empty compound. Her eyes fell on the gate. Then she saw it. A security camera mounted near the corner of the wall, another one near the entrance, another one near the front door. These boys didn't just build a mansion. They built it like people who expected enemies. Mama Deborah's heart beat faster. Did they know Anita would come? Did they know she would bring police? Did they plan for this? She began walking toward the front door. The door was tall, brown, glossy. There was a keypad lock beside it. Mama Deborah hesitated. Of course, she didn't know the code. But then she heard a small beep. The door unlocked by itself. Mama Deborah jumped back. Then a voice spoke from a small speaker near the door. Mama Deborah. Mama Deborah's eyes widened. Who is that? It's me, the voice said. It was Jeremy, not on phone, not physically, but through the security intercom system. Mama Deborah's mouth opened. Jeremy? How? Jeremy's voice sounded close and far at the same time. Please don't be scared. We set the door to open for you. Go inside. There's someone waiting for you. Mama Deborah's whole body tensed. Someone? Yes, Jeremy said. And Mama, there's something we didn't tell you before today. Mama Deborah's fingers gripped her wrapper. What is it? There was a pause, a long one. Then Jeremy spoke, voice heavy. Mama, our father did not just die. Mama Deborah's stomach twisted. What do you mean? Jeremy exhaled through the speaker like the words were painful. Our father was killed. Mama Deborah's knees almost failed. Her back touched the wall. Killed, she whispered. Jeremy's voice lowered even more, as if he was afraid the house itself could hear. Yes, Mama, and Anita knows it. She was there. She knows everything. Mama Deborah's eyes filled again, but this time with rage. All these years, she had called Anita wicked because she chased children out. But murder was a different kind of evil. Mama Deborah's voice shook. Jeremy, why didn't you tell me? We were children, Jeremy said softly, and we were scared, and we didn't want you to be scared too. Mama Deborah wiped her face with the back of her hand. She stared into the mansion doorway. The inside looked bright, clean, new, still smelled like fresh paint and new furniture. But now the beauty felt like it had a shadow behind it. Jeremy's voice came again. Mama, go inside. There's a folder on the dining table, and there's a man waiting to talk to you. He's safe. Mama Deborah swallowed hard. Who is he? Jeremy's answer came like a stone dropping into water. He is the lawyer our father trusted. The man who tried to save us the night we ran away. The man who has been looking for you for years. Mama Deborah's breath caught. Looking for her? Why? Before she could ask, Jerry's voice suddenly joined the intercom too, rougher, sharper. Mama, listen carefully, Jerry said. Anita didn't just bring police because she wants land. Mama Deborah's hands trembled. Then why? Jerry's words came slow and cold. She brought police because she's afraid we will expose what she really did. Mama Deborah's chest burned. Expose, fear, killed, lawyer, paper, envelope. The memories started colliding inside her. She stepped into the mansion slowly. The cool air conditioning touched her face. Her slippers echoed on shiny tiles. And there, in the dining area, sat a man in a neat suit with a briefcase on his lap. He stood up the moment he saw her. His hair was grey at the edges. His eyes looked tired, but kind. He bowed his head slightly. Good afternoon, Ma, he said politely. Mama Deborah swallowed. Who are you? The man opened his briefcase gently, like he was handling something precious. He pulled out an old brown envelope, worn, faded, with water stains. Mama Deborah's heart jumped into her throat, because she recognized it immediately. It was the same envelope she had seen 15 years ago, stuffed inside Jerry's shirt that rainy night. The man looked at her with soft eyes. My name is Barrister Oladipo, he said. And Ma, the night you took those boys in, you didn't just save 2 children. Mama Deborah's voice was barely a whisper. What did I do? Barrister Oladipo's face tightened. He looked down at the envelope, then back at Mama Deborah. You saved the only witnesses to a crime, he said, and you unknowingly became the keeper of a secret that could destroy a powerful family. Mama Deborah felt her body go cold. Then, the barrister added very quietly, and now, they are coming for you too. Mama Deborah's eyes widened, her mouth opened, but no sound came, because outside, far outside the mansion, she heard another sound, a car door slam, then another, then hurried footsteps, many footsteps, running toward the house, and the intercom beeped again. This time, it was not Jerry or Jeremy. It was a security alert, a robotic voice. Warning, multiple unauthorized persons approaching front entrance. Mama Deborah's heart slammed against her ribs. Barrister Oladipo stepped back quickly, his eyes sharp now. He grabbed his briefcase. Mama Deborah, he said urgently, we have to move, now. Mama Deborah's lips trembled. Move where? The barrister didn't answer immediately, because the loud banging started on the front door. Bam, bam, bam! A woman's voice screamed from outside, a voice full of poison. Open this door, Deborah, open it now. Mama Deborah's blood ran cold. It was Anita, and she sounded like someone who had brought more than police this time. Mama Deborah looked at Barrister Oladipo. He looked back at her, and then he whispered the words that made Mama Deborah's whole world tilt again. Ma, they don't just want the house. He swallowed hard. They want the boys. And they may not stop until someone dies. The banging on the door grew louder. Bam, bam, bam. Mama Deborah, Anita screamed from outside. If you don't open this door, you will regret it. Mama Deborah's heart was racing so fast, she felt dizzy. Barrister Oladipo grabbed her wrist gently but firmly. Ma, follow me. Now. Where are we going? Mama Deborah whispered, her voice shaking. There is a safe room, he said. The twins built it quietly, for days like this. The word safe room sounded strange in her ears. This was her life now. Safe rooms. Enemies? They moved quickly through the living room. Mama? Deborah noticed details she hadn't seen before. Thick doors, hidden cameras, a wall that didn't quite look like a wall. Barrister Oladipo pressed a panel. The wall slid open. Mama Deborah gasped. Inside was a small room. Clean, plain, no luxury, just safety. The banging continued outside. Anita's voice rose. Deborah, I know you are inside. You think those boys can hide forever? Mama Deborah's knees were weak. Barrister, why is she like this? The barrister's face hardened. Because she knows the truth is close, and truth scares wicked people. They stepped into the room. The wall closed behind them silently. The noise outside became dull, like thunder far away. Mama Deborah leaned against the wall, breathing hard. My God, 15 years, all this time. Barrister Oladipo opened the brown envelope again. Inside were documents, old photos. A thumb drive. He handed one photo to Mama Deborah. She stared. It was the twins' father, younger, smiling. Standing beside him was Anita. But this Anita was different. Her hand was on his shoulder, and her face was angry, not loving, angry. This was taken weeks before his death, the barrister said. There was a land deal, a large one. Their father refused to sign everything over to her. Mama Deborah's chest burned. So she arranged everything, the barrister said quietly. The accident, the missing files, the sale of the property. And when the boys survived, she wanted them gone. Mama Deborah covered her mouth. Outside, the banging stopped. Silence followed. Too quiet. Then her phone vibrated. A message. From Jerry. Jerry, Mama, the police station is no longer safe. Anita has powerful friends. But don't worry, we planned for this. Mama Deborah typed back with shaking fingers. Mama Deborah. Planned how? The reply came fast. Jerry, we are not victims anymore. Mama Deborah felt something rise inside her, not fear. Strength, the kind she hadn't felt in years. She looked at Barrister Oladipo. What do you need from me? The barrister met her eyes. Courage, and your voice. Mama Deborah nodded slowly. She wiped her tears. Outside, footsteps moved away. But Mama Deborah knew something now. This fight was no longer just about a house. It was about truth, about justice, and about protecting the sons she chose 15 years ago. And this time, she was not running. By morning, the mansion compound was full again. But this time, it wasn't balloons or celebration that brought people. It was news. Word had spread through the community like fire in dry grass. Police arrest twins, wicked aunt exposed, rich boys return. People came out of curiosity. Some came out of anger. Some came out of guilt. Inside the mansion, Mama Deborah sat upright on a simple chair, hands folded tightly in her wrapper. She had not slept. Her eyes were red, but her back was straight. Barrister Oladipo stood beside her, adjusting a small microphone pinned to her blouse. "Ma," he said gently, "once this starts, there is no turning back." Mama Deborah nodded. "I have turned back enough in my life." Across the room, a screen lit up. Jerry and Jeremy appeared on it, sitting side by side in a quiet office. They looked tired, but strong. Behind them was a banner, Live Broadcast. Jeremy spoke first. "Good morning, Nigeria." The crowd outside the gate fell silent as speakers carried their voices. Jerry continued, 15 years ago, our parents died in what was called an accident. But it was not an accident. A murmur swept through the crowd. Mama Deborah's chest tightened, but she stayed still. Jeremy's voice softened. After that night, we were chased away, homeless, hungry, forgotten. The camera cut briefly to Mama Deborah. Some people gasped, some looked down in shame. Jerry spoke again. "One woman took us in when nobody else would. Struggling widow. She fed us when she had almost nothing." Mama Deborah's lips trembled. Jeremy turned to the camera. "Today she stands accused for loving us, and our aunt Anita wants to rewrite history." At that moment, another screen lit up. A recorded video. Anita's face appeared, not proud, not loud, but nervous. Her voice played, shaky and rushed. "I didn't mean for him to die. I just wanted the papers signed. The driver was not supposed to speed." The crowd exploded. "What? Jesus! So it was true." Mama Deborah closed her eyes. Tears rolled down her face, not of weakness, but release. Barrister Oladipo leaned close and whispered, "That confession was recorded years ago. She never knew." Outside, Anita's car suddenly appeared at the gate. She jumped down, screaming, "It's a lie, a setup." But this time the police did not stand with her. They stood in front of her. Handcuffs came out. The crowd parted. Mama Deborah stood slowly. Her legs shook, but she did not fall. She stepped forward and spoke into the microphone. "I am not rich," she said, her voice breaking. "I am not powerful. I only chose kindness when the world chose cruelty." The crowd was silent. "I don't regret it," she added, "even if I suffer again." Jerry's voice came through the speakers, steady and strong. "Mama, you will not suffer again." Anita screamed as she was held back, and Mama Deborah knew, deep inside, the truth had finally caught up. But something else was coming. Something bigger. Because power never dies quietly. The handcuffs clicked. That sound was small but heavy. It echoed louder than Anita's screaming. People stepped back as the police led her away. Some stared in shock, some shook their heads, some whispered prayers. The same mouths that once mocked Mama Deborah were now quiet. Anita struggled. "Deborah, you think this woman loves you. She used you. Those boys used you." Mama Deborah did not answer. She stood still, calm. For the first time in many years, her heart was not racing. Jerry and Jeremy appeared again on the screen. This time they were smiling, not wide, not proud, but peaceful. "Mama," Jerry said softly, "it's over." Mama Deborah closed her eyes. She remembered the rain from 15 years ago, the night two boys knocked on her door, barefoot and shaking. She remembered counting Gary grains so they could all eat. She remembered insults, mockery, lonely nights. Now all of it came together like a long road finally ending. Jeremy spoke next. "We are coming home, fully, to Nigeria." The crowd murmured again. Jerry continued, "We are relocating our companies here. one in Lagos, one in Abuja. We want to build jobs. We want to give back. A man in the crowd shouted, God bless you. Another woman cried openly. Then Jerry looked straight into the camera. But first, he said, we want to say this clearly. The camera focused on Mama Deborah. This woman is our mother, not by blood, by choice. Mama Deborah's lips trembled. And anyone, Jeremy added gently, who disrespects her, disrespects us. Silence, deep silence, then applause. Slow at first, then loud, then unstoppable. Later that evening, when the crowd was gone and the gates were closed, Mama Deborah sat inside the mansion living room. The house felt warm now, not empty, not too big, just right. Jerry and Jeremy arrived quietly. No sirens, no cameras, just hugs. They knelt in front of her, both of them, at the same time. Mama, Jeremy said, his voice breaking, thank you for not giving us back to the streets. Mama Deborah cried, not loud, just tears sliding down. I didn't save you because I expected this, she said. I saved you because you were children. Jerry nodded. And that is why we became men. Days later, Anita was formally charged. The Aita case went public. The truth could no longer be buried. Mama Deborah moved fully into the mansion, but she kept her old cooking pot. She said it reminded her who she was. Jerry and Jeremy set up a foundation in her name, the Deborah Home Initiative, for widows, for abandoned children, for people everyone else ignored. Mama Deborah became busy again, but this time not with survival, with purpose. And sometimes, late at night when the house was quiet, she would sit on the balcony, look at the stars and whisper, "Thank you, God. I did not know kindness could come back like this. Kindness is not weak." Mama Deborah helped without power or money, yet her kindness outlived cruelty. Good seeds grow quietly. Jerry and Jeremy didn't become great overnight. They grew because someone believed in them. If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.